I feel a distinct sense of impending doom for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and no, it isn't Thanos. It's looking pretty apparent at this point that Captain Marvel may be slated to be its first failure. If it does fail, then there's only one person to blame, Brie Larson. There are two reasons for this. The first is Larson's underwhelming, to put it mildly, performance in the trailers, and the second is the rather toxic nature of the actress herself. I covered some of this in an earlier video on the first trailer, but let's reiterate some of the main points. Larson has not endeared herself to anyone. Remember when she said she didn't like 40-year-old white dudes reviewing movies that weren't meant for them, referring to the atrocity that was A Wrinkle in Time? Well, Larson, I won't have any issues reviewing Captain Marvel. I won't put the actual clip in this video because YouTube is getting increasingly grumpy with that sort of thing, but I suggest you watch it. She comes across as so egocentric and pompous in this clip that it would make excellent material for a comedy. I recently rewatched Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and I have come to the conclusion that Larson wasn't acting in that movie. I think that's what she's like in real life. Needless to say, these comments didn't ingratiate Larson to anyone, and more than just 40-year-old white dudes had issues with them. In case we weren't already convinced that this actress was toxic, then surely this deleted Instagram post, posted just after the passing of the great Stan Lee, should have clued you in. I mean, look at this. This is despicable. She's got her little fruit drink, or whatever the hell that is, hand almost in a mocking position on top of her head, her ridiculous little purse that says Brie, just so you don't forget how great this little egomaniac is, with her stupid-looking shoe pointed right at the camera. If this wasn't intended as an insult, then it's prime evidence that Larson is a moron. The most important figure in comic book history just passed, and you decided to make this about you. Pathetic. We must also remember that Larson is a nasty third-wave feminist SJW, and poor Stan Lee had baseless accusations thrown his way in the final months of his life, which opened many people's eyes to how horrendous the current environment of baseless accusations has become. When looking at this picture, you can see that Larson thinks she's quite above us little plebs. One can only imagine that some execs at Marvel and Disney had a coronary after seeing this picture. Then we have these comments. According to Larson, Thanos looks kind of shrimpy. The sense of narcissistic self-importance on that face. She knows people don't like her, and I think she actually enjoys it. You think Rey was an overpowered Mary Sue? Well, we ain't seen nothing yet. According to comicbook.com, Thanos is pretty formidable. Not only did the combined heroics of the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy barely show him down at points, should that not be slow him down? But with one simple snap, the Mad Titan wiped out half the life in the universe. And yet, Captain Marvel star, Brie Larson, she's not impressed. I think the only thing that impresses Brie Larson is Brie Larson. When asked by TNT Brazil if she thought the Avengers Infinity War baddie would give Carol Danvers a run for her money, Larson was suitably dismissive for someone playing a character poised to be the mightiest of heroes. Oh goody! Captain Marvel, who can apparently move planets and wield Thor's hammer, says, I don't know how it's any different. To be honest, I don't want it to feel different. I'm kind of over the first female blah blah blah. And wow, maybe women can do the same things that dudes can do. What a crazy concept. I feel like the more we talk about it, the more we perpetuate the myth that it's an impossible task. No, if it wasn't like that before, that was just wrong. Now we're doing what's natural. Well, Larson, you seem to enjoy talking about it. If we already know that Captain Marvel is perfect and unbeatable, then why should we even bother watching the movie? Larson's whammon power will save the day. In the latest Captain Marvel trailer, Larson looks just as bored, sleepy, and disinterested as she did in the first one. Even her two attempts at a quote, smile looks like Larson was saying behind the scenes, do I really have to? This doesn't make anybody want to see your movie. This is the first Marvel movie that I have absolutely no interest in seeing in theaters. If I do see it, then it will only be so I can review it for this channel. I think it's kind of telling that Larson does not appear in the Avengers Endgame trailer, but we all know she'll be the one to deal the death blow. Here's my theory, and I'm not the only one that shares this view. I don't think this was Kevin Feige's idea. There's a reason why the MCU has been a cinematic behemoth for over a decade. It gives us exciting, well-made, and well-acted movies that generally have managed to steer away from identity politics. Sure, there may be a line here and there, but it never distracts from the film. Captain Marvel seems to be steering so far away from this ethos that there must be some kind of external factor at play. I think this was a decree from Disney, not Marvel. Whether or not this was Feige's idea, this could do major damage to the MCU. Hopefully it won't be on the same scale as the Star Wars franchise, but audiences are really getting sick of this shit. What makes this even worse for Marvel is this is happening just as the tide seems to be turning for DC. Audiences seem to be enjoying Aquaman, and it seems to be performing quite well. I haven't seen it myself, but I'll probably check it out before it's out of theaters. Could this frowny-faced killjoy be what finally ends the MCU's streak? I hope not. But again, Star Wars. And that's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Twitter. And as always, everyone, thank you for watching, and have a great day.